All right, guys, how's it going? Next CRO audit. I'm going through one more project here, which I will really dive deep into so we can see what we can actually learn and what we can potentially do better. This is all hosted within the Ecom CRO Incubator. If you don't have access, you can just get in touch. There's several links. It's hosted inside of school, and every single week we do audits where we try to learn and help each other perform better, raise our conversion rate, and so on. So I will just dive straight into it. The next one, I believe, is this brand here from Simon. And let me just minimize myself a bit. This is what we agreed with when we go on the website. Let's start a bit with desktop and we can move over to mobile after. The first thing that goes straight into my eyes is that it's quite messy. The design makes me feel a bit overwhelmed, and it makes me feel that I'm not sure where my first step is. And the first thing you want to do on a homepage is to make sure that people feel like there's a natural first step, the most important action, basically. I keep talking about this. Here is difficult because there's a lot of text. There's an image that is very zoomed in, so it's hard for me to understand what is even on this image, right? And I don't recommend using images that are very zoomed in on a homepage because it's cluttered. It doesn't feel good. We need a button on the homepage that makes it so that you can easily take that one action. Right now, that button is actually just text and is very difficult to find. So that's a huge, huge issue. And this is on desktop, so it might be different on mobile. Then we have a little bit of a slider here with potentially brands that have mentioned this brand, but we don't know. And it could be all fake. So if this should make any sense at all, there should be little quotes with why these brands actually like this product. So Forbes, for example, if they have mentioned this brand and said something good about it, you will need to make a little citation bubble that shows what they actually said about your brand. Otherwise, this makes no difference. We have tested it so many times. It's completely abused. And this is what you need to change. So remove it if you actually don't have little quotes on why they like the product. And it's better to show 2 or 3 if that's all you have. If we go down, we see bestsellers, and we see them sort of pushed over to the right, which gives this huge white space on the left. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. And these buttons, again, very, very easy to miss. I hardly ever see them. The product images are amazing. That's a huge thing you got going. So the product design, like the packaging is top of the line. So that's really cool. But the problem is that it's all very messy here. I would like to have that sort of, I would probably use a little bit of a smaller image, and then I want to not have them right aligned like what it is right now. So this is a metabolic fix, and then there's the GI fix, which is something that's great for your gut and so on. I think a lot of people will find it difficult to understand what these are good for. So what I would focus on much more is highlighting what is good for, and maybe you'll even do a shop by and then what you want to improve. So gut health, blood sugar, cellular energy. So you can shop by that. That's kind of cool. And I think that really helps a lot. So we have a little bit of that already up here, but I like to see it also down here on your homepage, because then you can just click a button. So it's really nice if you can do that. We go down here, we see more supplements. Again, it gets kind of lost, and we got some nutritional programs, and we got the founder, and then a little bit of like a positive story. 80 to 90% of people never see this, so it's not super important. What I think is important is that your social media should actually show social proof, so it should show people that are using the products, talking about it, and not just your feed here, because anyone can put that up. So that's something I would definitely improve and fix up. I'm also I think there's a lot of room for improvement on Your navigation, that's a pretty big issue at the moment. When you hover over bestsellers, nothing happens. This should expand like this does, and it should show you the 6 most the best-selling products and highlight why they're great and so on. So I like to see it expand out, and so that's a huge benefit. Shop here is also not great. I don't like that I can only see the words and not actually the product. So I want to show you a great example from Huel, where if you hover over here, you can actually see the product. So you get bars, there's an image of a bar, and then it shows additional text. And then you can always go down to the quiz if you're not sure which products to have. So that's absolutely amazing. And then you can even click on all Huel products. I would literally do your own version of this. I think it's so good. And imagine that you have that up here. You should see a massive click-through rate to your cat pages and your product pages. So just a lot you can do here. This kind of drowns, and I'm not sure what to pick even. It's just the brain doesn't understand words as well as images. It needs to spend more energy to read than it is to use your eyes and just see things. So that's why I really like that. And I think Huel does a very good job at that. And you should use that to your advantage, basically. If we go a little bit further into your funnel, we can click on a product. The product page is not super convincing. I think there's a lot of information here. All this text is very crammed in. People don't read these texts anymore. I want bullets of why I should pick this product. So that's not there right now. Also, are these changing by default? The image is beautiful. I actually think the gallery is decent. But I like to see that they're not changing by default, so it doesn't overload people. Other than that, yeah, as I said, add to bag, it's a little bit weak. This area is actually, it could be so much better. And I think a lot of brands are doing a good job here. So if you look at Huel protein bars, you can see they've done a lot of jobs. So that the subscribe section is really nice. The one time is really nice. They highlight subscribe by default because that's their business model. I think if you do the same thing for yours, it will be really great. I don't think you have subscription right now, but I guess it makes sense to subscribe, right? So I think you should focus more on that and get that subscription going, and then just basically use the same as Huel here. Obviously, redesigns your own brand book. One time is like that. Button is here, very nice and bright. I know you have probably a brand book and so on, but I don't love the button right here. I think they're using a better button. They also talk about delivery. They talk about the trust pilot. These are things that are really, really important. People don't want to take a chance on any brand. So that's something I would consider. Now, you don't have flavor options, so this is not relevant. You could delete all that. But you could have a build your own bundle thing, because I can see you are bundling up a lot of things because you say pair wells with. And this, by the way, should be much, much easier. Like right now, I can click add to back down here, but it should be a little bit easier. I think there should be a button that automatically adds everything to your bag, and there should be a discount if you add everything in, so that there's a whole bundle thing that makes it so much easier to that. And you can use apps for that, by the way. There are bundle apps you can do, so you don't have to code it from scratch, which is a pretty big help, I would say. Okay, so yeah, the product page, this needs to be totally reworked. This needs to be reworked. The ingredient list is important, but is it the most important thing? Because I think a lot of people, you just need to explain the benefit of using the product, not necessarily the amount of green tea extract. There will be the nerds and the people that really want all the details, but I think it's important to show much more people's stories and how they have been taking the supplement and that transformation, and that's not at all apparent. Like, you have your reviews down here, you don't have any video reviews, so I think the video reviews would help you a lot as well. But you have good reviews, which is awesome to see. So I think you should highlight them more. so people can understand why it is beneficial to use it. And I know if you rework this session, if you add in more trust and credibility in video reviews, and you add a bundle option up here, so it's easier to bundle, and you also add in your subscribe, you should see a huge improvement on your website. I actually really like your card here. It's kind of nice. I like to put this up here at the top. We've seen that works quite well, and not down here, so that's something you can consider. I love that you have pair well with here, and then you add it. I would add a few more upsells though, and maybe something related to I would make more tiers, so free shipping and then discount and a free gift. So there are like 3-4 different tiers. You always have a progression bar towards a higher tier. That works quite well. So that's something to work with. I would love to have Trustpilot on your site or something else. I don't see it anywhere, so we usually see some pretty big gains from that. This is a standard checkout. So if you're not using Shopify Plus, I guess you're stuck with this, but otherwise you can enhance your checkout with trust and reviews and upsells. I like to see upsells here as well. Most brands do that. You can use Rebuy. You can use a lot of different apps for upsells here. And then I also like to see a post-purchase upsell. You can probably add 10 and 15% revenue if you add that in. So we didn't really do mobile, but I think a lot of the learnings from mobile, it's much worse in mobile even because everything is crammed in. It's so hard to see that button. Award-winning supplements, I would remove that. It's way too crammed, and then also just have the free shipping up there. And then I would have in the Trustpilot as well. That would help a lot. But yeah, a lot of the issues you see are here. I guarantee you're losing a lot on this hamburger menu and how everything is set up. So that needs to be improved. This seems a little bit crammed in as well. I would sort this by bestsellers. I don't think it's sorted by bestsellers right now. So yeah, bestsellers down here. You want to always sort by bestsellers here. That's going to help you a lot. Let's see. Yeah. So there's a few improvements to be made there. And then on your product page for mobile, it's not very convincing. I think you're losing a lot of customers because it's just not convincing to buy the product. So that's why you need your video reviews, and all this is way too technical. It needs to be there, but it needs to be hidden behind one of these buttons. So you will have ingredient lists, and you can click it out, and you can see all this stuff. And then in terms of instructions, that could be one that says instructions as well. So you want to probably want to like put that into 2 different categories. Press well with. There's no reason, there's no incentive to really buy other than it's good for you. So I'd like to see bundles with a bit of discounting. Not much. It could be 10%, it could be 15%. And then easy to add in additional product with that discount. That would definitely be helpful for a higher average order value. Anyway, this was a long review, but there's a lot you can work on. It's pretty exciting because you already have a good brand, and if you do all the stuff, you're just going to see your AOV and your conversion rate go up. So yeah, good job on everything so far, and good luck with all the fixes as well.